Alright guys, Dreadnought's here from the Toy Arc forums, trying my first review on the Star Wars Elite Series First Order Stormtrooper. We'll get a look at the packaging here. This is the front of the box. And the side. Other side. There's the bottom. And the top. And there's a look at the back of the box. You can pause it if you'd like to read it. Let's crack this thing open and get a look at it. And here's a look at the packaging inside. And you can see here there's quite a number of twisty ties that need to come off. So we'll remove those and take a closer look. So here he is out of the package, and I must say, a little disappointed overall with the figure. Let's take a closer look at some of the accessories in the base. Alright, so let's take a look at the accessories first. And as you can see, he's laying down in the back because he won't stand on his own, really, without the stand. So here's his blaster rifle. And some pretty good paint apps on there, some nice silver. No real dry brushing, but the apps look clean. And it looks good overall. And then here's the pistol, which looks pretty good, a little red dot there. And as you can see, it's got a little indicator or slot there that fits into the figure and on his leg, which should go on, but it doesn't and falls off. Doesn't work out real well, and I'm sure this may just be a defect on this one, but you know, a little disappointed in that. Here's the stand. Pretty nice. It is plastic, and I forgot to mention the weapons are plastic too. I really expected them to be die cast since the figure was, and the stand plastic. But Star Wars logo on there. There's the back. So, you know. Alright, let's get a closer look at the figure. Alright, so here's the figure up close. And as you can see, pretty clean paint apps on the head. Of course, die cast. Has the screws. Doesn't really bother me. You know, not much going on. It is a Stormtrooper, so yeah, not much to see. Everything looks pretty clean. I will say the shades on the hands are a little different, and they're plastic, you know. So the paint on there doesn't match the white on the rest of him. The head's plastic, but the paint actually matches a lot better on the head. And some pretty decent sculpting. Nothing just super detailed. You know, when say compared to like the Black Series, but overall, looks decent. And there's a look at the back. You know, quite a few screw holes. So we'll take a look at the articulation. So look at the articulation. The head seems to be on a ball, and we'll rotate 360. Move down that much, hindered by the chin. It doesn't move up quite as much as I would like, but there's some movement there, and some pivot because of the joint. Upper arm rotation, rotates 360 degrees, moves out that much. Has a 90-degree elbow joint, moves up that much. Hands are just rotation, no pivot, they just swivel around. No ab crunch, it's one solid piece. It does have waist rotation. If I can get a look at that, see it's quite ugly when you rotate him around, and there's quite a bit of rub as you rotate as well, so I'm not going to try and do that too much. Lower leg, hips swivel out that much. I'll try to get both so you can see. You can move the leg forward about that much. Straighten that one back up. And can't really move the leg back. 90 degree or almost 90 degree, I guess. Single joint on the knee. And then looks like the ankles are on a hinge. No pivot. No ankle pivot, just up and down, and it's limited by this piece here. So there he is back on the stand, and like I said, I'm disappointed. The gun, it just really barely stays on here. It is nice, and I'm sure for diecast collectors, they're going to like the fact that he is mostly metal. I think the feet were one of the major disappointments. They're plastic like the hands and the head, and they don't really support the weight of the figure. So he's just kind of teetering here on the stand. Slight bump, and he just really takes a nosedive forward. He's difficult because of the weight to stand, and like I said, he doesn't really stand at all without... well, I got him to stand. But he's very hard and very difficult to stand in any kind of pose without the stand. You know, expect the limited articulation with expect the limited articulation with the and the gun fell off again, but with it being die-cast. So let's drag out a couple more figures and kind of give them a size comparison. Alright, so here he is compared to the Hasbro Black Series. I took a few attempts to get him to stand up on his own. You kind of have to shift with the feet a little bit, but he is standing now. Notice the size difference, and let's see if I can find a ruler here. The Elite Series is coming in at about 6 1/4, with the Black Series right at 6. So noticeable size difference. I don't know if you could fudge that really into your Black Series collection. You know, maybe with Vader, because he's a little bit taller. But overall, I think I like the Black Series more. The shade of white is, if you can tell, this just has a little bit more of a, not a yellowish tint, but a tint to it, and this is a much more clean look. And of course the articulation. The details on the gun are pretty much the same, you know, and the details on the paint apps. This one actually, to me, has a few more apps and additions, and I don't know which one's more screen accurate, you know, because we haven't seen the movie, but you know, just based on this, definitely prefer the Black Series more. If you're a diecast collector, it's a fine figure, you know, short of the gun falling off and, you know, and the feet. But if you're just into collecting Star Wars figures, it's kind of a pass for me. And, you know, $25. These are $20, so, you know, I would probably go with the Black Series. And here he is getting his pew pew on next to the Dark Wars, Marvel Legends, Guardians of the Galaxy, Iron Man from the Marvel Legends set. And you can see, and correction, I said 6 1/4. I think I mismeasured. It was 6 1/2 on him, but pretty much about the same when compared to the Black Series. So yeah, that's my review. I apologize, it's my first review. I've kind of got a sinus infection, so I'm probably a little nasally. Also, you know, I don't have the cameras and stuff to do this probably the correct way. You know, don't have any cool stop motion stuff like but you know, if you like the review, I'd be interested in doing more and maybe perfecting it a little bit as I go. The big problem I have with reviews nowadays is, a lot of them are given by people that get free samples and stuff, and I feel like their opinion is weighed maybe a little bit towards those freebies. So I'm not sure we always get an unbiased review. All I can do is give you my opinion. Overall, he's a decent buy for diecast collectors. Like I said, he's a pass for me. I'm a Black Series collector, and I don't think he quite stacks up. I did also purchase, though, the Kylo Ren in the Disney Elite, and I'd be more than interested in opening it and reviewing it if anybody's interested. So leave a comment, or if there's any other figures. I have a pretty large collection. If there's something else you'd like to see a review on, leave a comment, and definitely we'll think about maybe doing some more reviews. Thank you for watching.